Hey guys, we're on campus here at University College Cork talking to students about what free speech means to them. Free speech is a major issue on college campuses around the world, and we wanted to find out what it was like here in our own backyard. Do you believe in freedom of speech?
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's very important to have, so people can speak their mind, even when it's speech I don't agree with. So, yeah.
I do. I think it's very important that we have the opportunity to say what we want to say, because it's our voice.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't express your own opinions, I mean, what kind of a world are you living in, I guess?
Of course, I feel everyone should be able to have their own opinion and say what they wish, feeling safe on campus as well, being whatever it is that they have to say.
You need to be able to give your opinion on whatever's happening, really, and especially on campus as well, because we're like a new generation, so we should be able to give our opinion, because it's going to be affecting us, like everything that happens in campus and just in the future anyway.
So I guess you'd call it a pillar of democracy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the whole point of democracy is, the power of the people to make their own decisions. So if they can't voice their beliefs, that's the whole point of democracy.
Of course, I think everyone has the right to express their opinion regarding certain issues, but I do feel that there should be limitations on it.
Do you believe that hate speech is free speech?
I would say it does count as free speech. I think it's too hard to legislate what even counts as hate speech, to put any restrictions on it.
I think that hate speech is a very toxic expression of free speech. So I think that having hate speech be allowed in society is a very easy way to otherize areas of society that hate speech is targeted at.
For me, I just feel that if you know you're going to offend someone, then why bother saying it? If you've nothing good to say, don't say it at all. I understand you can express your opinion, but there's a proper way to do it. You don't have to do it in a way that's excessively hurtful and hateful.
People deserve to have the right to what they want to say, even if I fundamentally think it's kind of wrong, what they're saying. But it's not for me to take their, kind of right to say it away from them. So
I would define hate speech personally as targeting a group of people, usually a minority, basically saying we'd prefer if you didn't exist.
I suppose it is one of those things you'll never really escape fully, that it'll always be about. And I suppose it's about taking what's good out of the conversation or blocking out the bad rather than taking what's good, because it's not all of it can be positive. And we have to accept that there will be hate speech. Always.
I suppose you have to argue that if you give someone the opportunity to say what they want to say, obviously someone is going to blare out all these obscenities and all this hate speech. I don't agree with it personally, and I don't think you should blast anyone when you're using social media or any discourse. You should always say professional. But I suppose there is the argument that hate speech is free speech. But for me personally, I always I don't like upsetting people, and I don't like it when other people upset people either.
You can expect somebody to retaliate if they want, but there's nobody should stop you saying from what you want to say.
Okay, and do you think that the government should have a role to play in regulating hate speech?
That's a tough one. Obviously, as soon as you mention the word censorship, that's a big no-no. Because once the government gets involved, when does it stop? If they start controlling what media say, do they where does it? If they start controlling say newspapers and the television media, they could infiltrate that into social media and start monitoring people's posts, and it just gets out of control then.
You could only censor so much to the point where it becomes controlling. Obviously, you should have the right to say whatever you wish, But at the same time, I think it's less about censoring and more about just getting everyone to understand the groups around them. And because you can't really, do it from an outside point of view, you need the individual to understand that hate speech can be hurtful, rather than, blocking that or not, let's not use that word. Let's learn about that word and let's know why not to use it, rather than just saying don't.
I can see why people would be very angry, because it is restricting their rights to have free speech. But if it is hurting others, you should intervene.
I think if you're to do that, it crosses a very kind of a grey area where, like, what is, as you said, it's subjective. So what is hate speech? What do you consider hate speech? So then it's a very grey area. So I think it's best just not to do it.
It's very, very difficult to find a balance between free speech and confronting ideas and having an assault on one's own sense of identity.
And finally, just on UCC campus itself, would you agree that, in line with UCC's tradition of independent thinking, that you must be willing and allowed to risk offending in the pursuit of good ideas?
Yeah, like, I think you can pursue your good ideas, but I don't necessarily see the point in intent of offending. Like, yes, unintentionally offending, that happens, but I don't agree that you should be intentfully offending people just to represent your ideas. Like, as I said, there's ways to do it without intentionally offending and being hurtful.
Like, recently we had the referendum to say whether or not the student body of UCC support the decriminalisation of drug use, and with the Students' Union elections going on as well, the campus was very vibrant, it was very busy. There was a lot of people, voicing their opinions.
Not enough people give their opinions on campus and that, and I'd say there is some opinions that people in UCC would rather not be heard and that, but overall I do think people really are able to say what they want to say and everything, really.
I feel that I haven't encountered any restrictions to say what I want to say. I think nobody's really talked me down into staying quiet or whatever. I say what I want to say, and I think so far nobody's had a problem with that.
Great, thank you very much. We had some interesting responses on campus today. Clearly, from talking to students, we've noticed a real conflict between what is hate speech and whether it counts as free speech. Be sure to follow us on social media for more clips and more videos.